We're discussing today the very exalted attributes of keeping your mouth quiet when you're disgraced. And I'd like to add a very important point here. Chazal tell us, Hamaver al midosa, Mavir al kol pshoya. Maver al midosa means like this. Right? Most of us, if you're like myself, have some level of feeling that we deserve a little bit of respect. Yeah? And when that comes into clash with somebody who's saying caustic statements to us, so there's a confrontation, right? There's a confrontation. And it's that person's words against our midas, right? If at that moment we're able to be ma'avir al midas, we're able to go over that midah, we're able to elevate ourselves above that midah. A midah comes the word modades, a measurement. Hashem measured to each person how much honor they have, how much desire they have, kina, taiva, kavod, right? Pas, anger, anava, humility, simcha, joy, atzvas. Every midah is a measurement. Each of us, it's measured out. If a person is able to go above to ma'avir al midas, right? He was measured a certain amount of honor. You're ma'avir al midas. So Hashem does the same thing. Midah keneged midah, as it were, measure for measure. Right? It's really here, midah keneged midah. The midah that he was voted us, there's another midah. It's called ma'avir al kol pshoya. What Hashem does, measure for measure. If you are able to overcome your midas, Hashem is ma'avir al kol pshoya. That means, oh, I see you have 25 million words of lashon hara, and you said 72,000 brachas without any good intention, and you did this and you did that, and you did this and you did that, and you did that. We'll just skip over all of that, right? Incredible. What a gift. What an opportunity. Yeah. So therefore, if somebody caused you disgrace, if someone said something to you which you felt was belittling of your aunt, right? Right. The best thing you do, number one, is to be quiet. And number two is to realize that if at that moment you're in clash to meet with your ego, the feeling that that painful feeling, that painful inner feeling that I was disgraced. Yeah? If you can go over that and say, even though I feel very pushed to give this person a piece of my mind, not too much, I want to make sure something's left. But even though you feel very pushed in that direction, go over that feeling. Transverse that feeling. Go over it. And Hashem will do the same thing. Go over all pshoyev. Now, it's important to note, pshoyev means intentional transgressions, right? A person could have intentionally done many, many things wrong. And of course, you have to do tshuva. It's not a magic trick. You have to do tshuva. But the incredible thing Chazal are telling us is that somebody overcomes his negative attributes. He might have had a very hard year with many, many pshoyim, right? He fell down many times, which, by the way, you're allowed to. Yeah? An Adam Gadol told me every day, 5 small mistakes and 3 big mistakes. Right? You're allowed to make mistakes. Right? Incredible statement from the Mesilas Yesharim. Right? At the end of Nikias, if you don't believe me, take a look. Yeah? He says, it's not so hard not to ever do an Avera ever. Yeah? You just have to know what you're meant to do and do it. As my Rashiva Krishlevsky would always say, he said, the emes is very simple. It's coming to the emes that's hard. Right? It takes time to internalize this idea. You don't need to ever do an Avera. Once you've done it, so I just follow the rules, like any rule book. But okay, so most of us will have trouble with that. It's not so easy. But, yeah, we make a lot of mistakes. And you're allowed to make mistakes, right? You're allowed to make mistakes. We're only human. Sheva tipol tzadik v'kum. The tzaddik has to fall down 7 times before he gets up, right? Because that's the way it goes. This is the way the world was structured. But we have to learn from our mistakes. We have to learn from mistakes. So if you're like me, you got a lot of mistakes in Tafshin Pekin, a lot. If I would count them, I would be here for the next 2 weeks. Yeah, maybe. Generous. Yeah. But the way to overcome that is Ma'avar Midas. To overcome, when that clash happens, and it will happen, it will happen, right? If you're listening to this year, there's a rule, right? Whatever you're working on, you're testing. As Rav Shapiro told me so many times, "Anachnu lo mevakshin nisyonot." We don't ask for tests. Aval al tivater al af echad mehem. But don't tivater. Don't relinquish even one opportunity you have, right? When you have the soil. The Nisoyan will come. If you're listening to this year, so you will have a Midos confrontation. You'll have a Midos confrontation. But you are now empowered. You now have the tools to overcome and to be successful in this Nisoyan. Because Maber al Midoisa, you know now, when that clash, when that confrontation takes place, whatever your meet is, it could be honor, it could be depression, it could be anger, whatever it is. When that confrontation takes place, try to go over it. Try to strengthen yourself. Muster up the inner strength within yourself, which we will have. Muster it up and say, I'm not going to let that midah, that attribute, which was measured to me, I'm not going to let it destroy me. I'm going to get over it. And then Hashem, midah kineged midah, measure, go over all of your transgressions. Hashem should help us in this very, very great endeavor to be successful. Amen. Gain to